So it's Friday, opening week of turkey season here in North Carolina, and it's been a tough week. We had bad weather at the first of the week. It's been down either at freezing or below freezing every morning. So I've kind of stuck down to this lower elevation stuff in the Pisgah National Forest, and this has been my first year really hunting the Pisgah during turkey season. So I've just been kind of moving around all week, going to different areas, listening for birds. Most of the birds have been right up, either on private or right on the line. A couple times I've been close to some toms off the roost, but I had other hunters come in. There's been a lot of hunters out this week. I'm going into a new area this morning that I haven't been to, and I'm going to try to, there'll probably be other people in here hunting, but I'm going to try to walk around the backside of this big mountain and be there by daylight. It's 4:45 now, and I think I got time. I got an hour and 45 minutes to ease around the side of this big mountain on the backside, and hopefully none of the public guys will hear the birds on the other side of that mountain, if they're there. So I'm going to sneak around that backside. There are some bottom fields down on some private below this mountain, and I'm thinking it'll hold some birds. Maybe if they're gobbling good off the roost this morning, I'll be able to slip around down below them and get in between them and the fields and maybe have a chance, even if they do have hens with them. So I finally made it in. It's right at daylight. Behind me is big private land bottoms, and the whole mountainside above me is public. I got up in here where I wanted to listen, and there's a logging road, which is perfect. I can tell the leaves have been scratched out by turkeys all down this logging road. So I'm just waiting on the first gobble, and I'm going to move towards it and try to cut them off down this logging road. I'm just going to use the logging road. It was the birds right behind me. birds are right down off this point right here. And I'm gonna try to call him back up through here because he acted like he liked my calling a while ago. He came back close to 100 yards. But I'm set up now and I'm a good 25 yards from the line, so all I gotta do is wait for him to get into the wood line. I think no matter what happens, they're gonna come back up right here probably. It's the most likely spot for them to come back up into the woods at. So I came in here this morning, came up a forest road and then come around the mountain. I knew there were some big bottoms down in here. And it's big private land bottoms, and I don't guess anybody's hunting. I didn't hear anybody this morning. You know, there can't be nobody hunting. The bird, I can see him. He's down next to the house. There's either a barn or a house or something down there, and there's a truck parked next to it. He's standing right next to the truck, next to the fence, just spinning circles. If there's anybody hunting, he'd be too easy to kill. I don't think anybody hunts this property. I guess they don't let anybody hunt, but I had a notion that there'd be birds in here. I mean, I knew there'd be some birds in here somewhere. The problem was he was roosted within 30 yards of the line, and he flew down 10 yards onto the private. He was never on the public at all, except in the tree. And then as soon as he flew down, when his feet touched the ground, he was on private. He got about 150 yards away and was leaving. I called at him. He turned around and run all the way back up the hill within 20 yards of the public land line. So the way the land lays right here is thick on either side of me and steep. I think when they get done messing around down here on the private, when they come back up here and enter the wood line, I think they're going to enter right here. So I'm backed up. I can still kind of see down here and kind of keep an eye on them with my binocular. I think I'm going to sit right here the rest of the morning and see if they'll work their way back up in here, because basically as soon as he gets in the wood line right here, I can shoot. They ain't gobbling. After he hit the ground, he gobbled back at me one time. But they ain't gobbling this morning. I ain't heard another bird. I got the birds right down here in front of me. I've been calling a little bit. They moved up here towards me. They're about 30 to 40 yards on private land. He's got some hens with him, and I think a Jake. I had to move back from where I was set up. I was afraid I was going to get busted when they came into the wood line. There's two toms down here. So that's about it for today's hunt. I could not successfully call those birds back on the public land. I haven't seen a bird on public yet today, except when I was just taking my undergarments off, getting ready to leave. Turn around and one of the birds comes walking right behind me through the woods over here. So he literally caught me with my pants down. Anyways, the wind's getting up real high. That's why I was packing up to leave, and I hadn't heard a gobble in about an hour, but yeah, so at least one bird came back in here, but I was looking the wrong way. So it's about 6 o'clock in the evening, and it just quit raining a little bit earlier, and I'm up in Virginia. This is the second week of Virginia turkey season. I'm up in an area that I wanted to come scout for deer anyways, and I got in here, and I'm looking for the sign of a certain buck. I found his shed last year in here turkey hunting. And I've already walked up on a dead buck that somebody shot and lost. It's definitely not the one I was looking for, but it's looks like a young little 2-year-old buck, a little 6-pointer. But I'm gonna look around this evening, see if I can roost any birds this evening. And if I don't see anything this evening, I'm gonna go back to where I know they roost. At least I know they were roosting last year. So here's a look at this buck. Was really afraid when I first started finding dead deer parts that I was going to find that big buck laying in here dead and that somebody lost him, but looks like they shot something smaller. Hopefully he's still alive. Looks like I got another shed up here. It's been eaten off pretty bad, but it's a good sized shed. Been here for a while. Really no telling what he could have looked like. Just wanted to point something out while I'm in here. I'm walking through a briar patch right here. And every one of these briars are eaten down. So there's been a lot of deer through here, a lot of deer using this. And they're probably coming right off that ridge right there. That ridge runs up to a big cutover that you can't walk through. It's so thick, a little over head high. And I'm fixing to work my way back down the creek bottom. The place that I have hunted turkeys in the past is down this way. That's why I have been checking this out. I wanted to see if there was any fresh scratching back this way behind me. That leads me to believe that all the turkeys are where I normally see them, down this way. So I'm gonna go down the creek a little ways and just listen for them, maybe hit the owl hooter one time before dark and see if there's any down that way. So I walked all the way down in the bottom, below where they normally roost at. And there was high wind earlier, but there's no wind now. I can hear for a long way. If anything says anything off the roost tonight, I should know where to go in the morning. We normally roost up here. Well, it's my first morning in Virginia this year. I scouted yesterday afternoon when I got up here and camped last night. I didn't see any sign at all, any fresh turkey sign yesterday, but I was about a half mile from here. Where I'm at right now is where I killed one last year, and during deer season last year, I saw a bunch of birds roosting right here too. So hopefully, here in another 15 minutes or so, I'm gonna hear something. I'm on a logging road on top of a ridge, and I snuck up a drainage to get to this logging road where nothing would hear me, where I wouldn't spook anything. So I'm gonna sit tight, and if anything gobbles this morning off the roost, I ought to be able to hear it from here. I can hear a bird over here. He just sounded off one time. I'm gonna head that way. I got a logging road that sort of goes that way. I've moved a long way. Went down a ridge, came off a finger ridge, and came up another one. I think he was on the back side of this ridge. I could barely hear him, and I only heard him twice. He must have hens with him. He ain't saying nothing. Got this bird right off the ridge down in this bottom below me. I got a good setup right here. I'm gonna call at him a couple times and see if he's receptive. If not, I'll try to move at him, but he's only gobbled a couple times after he hit the ground. Just answered me, and it sounded like he was coming up the end of this finger ridge down here below me, so I'm just gonna sit tight, be quiet. I'm near the line. The line's about 30 yards up here to my right, but he's coming from the other way, so he should be right in on public. So I just heard him one more time, and I think he's down in the bottom. I think he's circled around the bottom of this ridge I'm on. There's another ridge over here to my right that goes down to that bottom. I'm gonna sit here and listen for another minute, make sure he ain't coming because I answered him. And then I'm gonna circle back around to this other ridge over here and try to go down to the bottom of it. Hopefully by the next time I hear him, if I do that, I'll be closer to him. So I followed those birds. I heard them again. Followed them to the edge of private, and I can tell they went down to some private land fields way down in the bottoms down there. Probably a half mile away, but they were up on this ridge this morning
The whole ridge is just tore up with turkey scratchings, fresh. So I'm just gonna start out here at daylight in the morning. It's about 6:15. I'm up on the ridge where I expect them to be. I think this is where they were roosted yesterday morning, somewhere on this ridge. I don't really know where, I was too far away. There's a ton of turkey sign on this ridge, and this is just kind of where I wanted to start out this morning. We'll see. I hadn't heard a gobble yet. It's starting to get windy already. I finally got one gobbling. I must have walked under him in the dark. He's behind me down here towards the creek bottom. So I set up this morning, and I was just over the hill back here behind me, and the only bird I heard off the roost was down where I came from this morning. I must have walked under them, but I knew there was a lot of scratching up here on top here, and this is where I'd heard him yesterday. So I gave up after about an hour of just sitting there and lightly calling. I gave up and started sneaking back down this ridge. I didn't get 50 or 60 yards. I had my backpack on and my camera in my left hand, shotgun in my right. And I heard scratching. And these birds just come running in front of me. And they fight. And then they kind of split up and start scratching around, walking around again. And this one came in on my left. I couldn't get it on film, but I'm just kind of glad to take a bird. It's been a tough 2 days in Virginia. This looks like a 2-year-old bird. Like a 2-year-old bird with good beard on him, you know. With a good beard for one with such short spurs.